At another time, welcome, but otherwise this class runs live at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time in Chicago. So I'm not sure if my stream is going through real well, but I think we're okay. It may be interrupted. My apologies. You know, I do the best I can with streaming. Sometimes there's technical stuff. But let's go ahead and come to a seat. So take your time. If you're able to, come to an easy seat, cross your legs, bring your hands to your knees, stack the shoulders over your hips. And this is where I like to begin, just to kind of get ready for the class to come. So close your eyes. And just let yourself settle in for a few moments, finding some stillness. So if you're like me and you're practicing at the end of the day, this is really time to kind of let go of what went on earlier in the day. So if you had a day at work, we can kind of transition away from that. Yes, we probably do still have things on our mind that we have to think about for tomorrow, or things that are maybe still, you know, puzzling over in our brains. But truly, if we could let go of that for this hour, we might be able to come back to it with a fresh take. And probably we're not going to solve the problems of the world within the next hour anyway. We might, however, give ourselves a chance to kind of reset and feel a little better, so that we can solve the problems of the world afterwards. So just thinking about it that way. So just take a moment to try to shift, adjust, transition from your day now to your practice, where the focus can just be on you and your breath. And then if your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them now. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Let's interlock the fingers at the end and point the first fingers to the ceiling. So creating that kind of pointed effect with the thumbs together and the first fingers together. And then we're just going to lean over to the right and take a little side stretch here, reaching the arms towards the corner. And then come on back to center, and we're just going to lean the other way. And come back to center. Let's go ahead and move to hands and knees, setting up our tabletop position for some cat-cow stretches. So shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. On an inhale, head and tail lifts, chest and belly drop. Let your head lift. Exhale, go the other way, tuck your tail, arch the spine, let your head drop down. I encourage you to connect to your Ujjayi breathing here, and we are going to use this throughout today's class to kind of lead us through our sequence. So really see if you can establish a rhythm that feels right to you, sustainable. I don't think we always have the exact same rhythm. Like some days we might feel like we're just more upbeat and we are breathing and moving a little faster. Some days we might be slowing down and taking things a little deeper, but it takes a little longer. That's okay. Trust your body's inner rhythm to help guide the one that we're actually externalizing in the breath and the movement here. And then we're going to add on. So the next time you exhale, drop the hips all the way to the heels for child's pose, but then inhaling back to hands and knees, that tabletop again. Exhale, child's pose, hips to heels. All of this stuff early on in the practice should feel good. I mean, hopefully yoga feels good throughout the whole class, but it might get more challenging, so that's always kind of that balance. But here, like, this should not feel challenging. This should just feel enjoyable to move through your body in this simple way. Now next exhale, let's build in a down dog. So we're going to exhale, tuck toes, lift knees and hips, move the heart back for down dog. But inhale is going to bring you back to your knees. And then we'll alternate to child's pose on the next exhale. Each inhale, hands and knees. If you've practiced with me before, you're probably familiar with this. It's just a little sequence. It's just 4 poses, but kind of a variation of cat-cow, coming back to the knees. We're going to add 1 more pose. I said 4. We're only doing 3 right now. But the next time you're in downward facing dog, instead of dropping the knees to the floor after down dog, we're going to come forward with the shoulders to plank. And then after down dog, plank is going to turn into child's pose. So we're taking out one of the cat-cow or one of the cows and putting in plank between down dog and child's pose. So we've got 4 now in a row. Stay with the breath. We're just going to do maybe 1 more round here. And then the next time you find yourself in plank, let's go ahead and hold plank for a few breaths. Strong through the core, long through the back of the neck. And then we're going to lower to the ground. So you could go through chaturanga here, or maybe bend the knees, bring those down first, and then as you bend the elbows, let the heart come down between the hands. Let's take the arms out ahead of us for just a little Sphinx pose here. Lifting up very gently, and if you want to drop the head down and take the head around in a circle, kind of warming up the neck, go back in the other direction. Feel free to do that here. And then we're going to take the arms off the ground and kind of bring them out like airplane wings, or they could be at a diagonal, but we're just going to kind of lift everything up. So arms, legs, just rising up off the floor. Like if you were skydiving out of an airplane, this is the position they'd tell you to go into as you're free falling. I don't know if anyone else has done that. And then from here, keep the lift, bend your elbows, bring the hands next to your chest, press down, roll onto the tops of the feet and off your upper body. Cobra pose, here we are. If you want to, you could shift into up dog, slightly sliding forward, getting onto the tops of the feet. Let the hands take the weight. The arms get a little straighter, but the shoulders are still down and away from the ears. And then we're going to lift the hips and move to downward facing dog again. And now let's go ahead and hold in this down dog. So spread the fingers wide, root down with the hands. Check in with the base of your thumb and forefinger and make sure that's attached to the ground. And you could even kind of traction the hands towards each other to engage the arms more slightly, but to really distribute the weight through the entire underside of the hand. Tendency for most people is to roll to the outer edge of the hand. And then if you want to bend, the knees and lift the heels on one side, one leg, and then switch to the other side so you're stretching one out and then, okay, you know what I'm talking about, right? We're pedaling the feet here. And then let's walk forward to the top of the mat. So take your time, bringing your feet up to your hands and about hip distance apart, soft knees, let your upper body hang, let the head hang down. Fall microphone. Maybe grab opposite elbows if you like. You can nod and shake the head a little here. And then soft knees, let go of the elbows, and let's just roll up nice and easy. I'm actually going to suggest, I think we're going to start today with some Sun C variations rather than going right into some Sun A's. So from your standing position from here, inhale, reach the arms out and up, and then exhale, swan dive forward over your legs to Uttanasana. Now, we're gonna step the right foot back. So the right foot's gonna lead first, step it all the way back and lower the right knee, and we'll spend a few breaths in this first low lunge. So the left foot's forward, knee over the ankle, the arms come up, the hips sink forward. And breathe. If you want to take any variations with the arms, you could, interlacing fingers behind the head, widening the elbows, lifting the chest. And then hands come to the mat around that front foot. The left knee is going to join the right, and then bending the elbows, lower the heart down between the hands, and then scooping into a cobra pose. And then finding downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and throw in a down dog split here. That's not really part of Sun C, but we'll do it on this first one because we're kind of just warming up. So take the right leg into the air, open the hip and bend the knee, drop the heel to the hip. Just give yourself a little time to stretch the front of that right quad. And then look forward, step the right foot forward. So we're going to do the lunge on the other side. Left knee lowers down, extend the toes behind you. Come up with that upper body. Sink the hips forward and breathe. All right, now fingertips to the top of the mat. We're going to step the back foot forward. And then reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. And palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over the legs. Now we're going to lead with the left foot, but instead of taking a low lunge, let's take a high lunge this time. So left foot back, the left knee is going to stay lifted, right knee over the ankle, coming to crescent pose. Reach the arms up. And then hands to the mat, step to plank, and here's a vinyasa. You can go through chaturanga if you want, or lower the knees first, and down dog. And then let's take the left leg into the air. Open the hip and bend the knee, point the knee to the sky. Try to keep the shoulders level, even though the hips are twisting here. And then look forward, step forward, left foot top of the mat, crescent pose, coming to your high lunge here on the other side. All right, and then top of the mat, we're back in standing forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Let's flow through one full Sun C. So now we're going to be one breath per movement. So inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, dive down, Uttanasana. Right foot's going to lead. Step it back as you inhale, low lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Left knee steps back, lower the heart. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, down dog. No down dog split here. Right foot's going to step forward as you inhale, moving into the low lunge. And then exhale, Uttanasana, top of the mat. Inhale, reverse the swan dive. And exhale, palms together. And other side, meaning the left is leading. Inhale, come up. Exhale to fold. Left foot steps back. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, lower down. Follow your own breath here. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, down dog. Left foot forward, low lunge. And Uttanasana, top of the mat. Reverse, come on up. And let's hold for a couple breaths in Tadasana. And if you're still finishing up your Sun C, that is totally fine. Go at your own pace. But now we're going to move into a series of Sun A's. So when you are ready, take your time. Again, follow your breath. If you get ahead of me or behind me, that is fine. But we'll inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, dive down, Uttanasana. The one pose we add here is Ardha Uttanasana, so that half lift, flatten the back. Exhale, step to plank and lower. Follow your breath through your vinyasa, cobra or up dog, and then down dog. And when you get to down dog, you can hold anywhere from 1 to 5 breaths here. When you're ready to move on, you'll inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift, fold, reverse, palms together, and let's go through a few more. So I'm going to take a break from cueing so you can just follow your breath and your own pace here for the next minute or so. And then no rush, but the next time you find yourself in downward facing dog, go ahead and hold there, and we'll begin to add on to our sequence from that pose. So whenever you're ready, we're going to start with the right leg, taking it up, square hip down dog split, so the thigh stays facing the floor, toes are flexed downward. Create that strong diagonal here. And then coming forward to one-legged plank. So keep your leg extending in line with your torso as you bring the shoulders forward over the wrists. Leveling out with the ground. Now from here, let's roll to the outer edge of the left foot and come to side plank. You can keep the space between your feet if you like, or you can go ahead and stack them. Hips lift up, maybe gaze lifts up as the right arm reaches into the air. Then look to the top of the mat and step the right foot up. We're going to pivot all the way onto the left heel and come on up for warrior one. So try to square the hips forward here now towards the front edge of your mat. Root the outer edge of the back foot down, arms come on up. We're going to step onto the right foot and come into balance. So see if you can just bring your left knee into the chest first as you do this. And just stabilize here. But then we're going to move to tree pose, Vrikshasana. So bringing the sole of your left foot to the upper inner right thigh, or it could be below the knee to the calf or quad or shin, I guess. And then stabilize either palms together in front of the heart or arms up. Steady your gaze at a point ahead of you so your balance is there. Now we're going to take this to a little bit of a twist. So see if you're able to bring the right hand outside of the left leg and take your left arm behind you. If you can, let your gaze turn as well. Now, we're not really moving the right foot at all in this sequence, but now we're going to step back to warrior two. So keep the body turned open to the side. Release your left foot. Step it back long. Back arch aligns with front heel. top arm flips down, and then you can look over your front fingers. If you need to adjust your foot position a little bit or your hips or whatever, go ahead and do that now. But, ideally we want to kind of keep it as simple as possible in these transitions. And then reverse your warrior, so stretch up and back, just for a couple of breaths here. Now cartwheel hands to the mat and travel through vinyasa to return to down dog. All right, let's try that on the other side. So starting with down dog split on the left leg. So take the leg up, nice and square in the hips. Kind of think about how each pose is prepping us for the next one, now that you kind of know what the sequence is going to be. So from down dog split, we're going to move to one-legged plank, moving the shoulders forward, but keeping that leg extended out behind the body. Now from here, we're going to roll to the outer edge of the right foot, find side plank now on the right, so the left arm can go up. Maybe the feet stack, or maybe keep the gap if you like it. Probably our biggest transition here now is going to be stepping the left foot forward and then pivot the right heel all the way down. So both feet have to change for that transition there. So go ahead and come to warrior one now on the left side. Arms can go up, lunge deep. And then taking your weight to your left foot, bring the right knee into the chest. Find balance and stability. And once you feel like you've kind of got yourself grounded here, moving into tree pose, Vrikshasana. Sole of the right foot to the left thigh, palms together or arms up. Take your pick. And then we will twist. So do your best here. I know balance is going to throw you off, but do your best. Left hand's going to come to the outer right leg. Right arm reaches behind. You can open your gaze, do it. Maybe look to your thumb. It's way over there. And then we're going to step out for warrior two, landing as softly as possible and then making adjustments as needed. Look out over the left fingers now and just hold for a few breaths. Okay, and then we'll reverse the warrior. So stretch it up and back, still breathing. Awesome, and then hands to the floor. Let's take a vinyasa. All right, take a breath or two in down dog, just resting, and then we're gonna come to the top of the mat in a moment, and we're gonna do like we'll take chair, but then we'll do a little sun bee, just to kind of get the body moving again. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk or hop. Half lift and fold. And then bend the knees over the toes, Utkatasana. This lightning bolt shape here, nice zigzag. We've done sun A and C, so we've got to get that B in the middle so that everything's connected, right? When you're ready, exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha. And then vinyasa, make your way back to down dog. And with a sun B, we're doing everything one breath per movement, so really nothing is being held. So from down dog, inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward, back heel goes down. Inhale, up to warrior one. As soon as you hit, exhale. Hands back to the floor for chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog, left side. Inhale the leg up. Exhale to bring it forward. Warrior one. And flow through your vinyasa. We're not gonna hold down dog. We're gonna come back to the top of the mat. So once you get to down dog, take an inhale, and then exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. Half lift and fold. And then let's come back to chair pose, Utkatasana. From here, keeping the right knee bent, pick up the left foot, cross the ankle onto the thigh, bring palms together in front of the heart. Little figure 4 shape here. Take this in balance, keep the hips low. Now, from here, we're gonna fold our chest down towards our shin. It's gonna add to the stretch a little bit. It's probably also gonna add to the temptation to bring the fingers to the floor. See if you can keep them together in front of the heart. And then from here, we're gonna open to half moon. So the right fingers are gonna come down to the ground. And most of you have done this transition with me before. See if your body remembers it. Open it up, reach the left leg behind you, the left arm up. Turn your body open to the side. Push through that lifted heel. Now bend the front knee, step back long for warrior 2. Just like land softly in it. Inhale, reverse warrior, and then let's take an extended side angle here. So forearm to the thigh, top arm comes overhead alongside the ear, creating that diagonal from foot to hip to shoulder to fingertips. Should be all in one long straight line as best you can. And then inhale, stretch it back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, vinyasa. Follow your breath. Of course, if you want to skip vinyasas, you absolutely may choose to do that and just go straight to down dog. When you're ready, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. Take a half lift. Fold, Uttanasana. Bend the knees for Utkatasana. Let's do the other side. So standing on the left foot, pick up the right, cross the ankle onto the thigh, press the palms, and keeping everything kind of up here. So it feels like, well, we're sitting in the chair, but just doing that little leg cross thing that we do. Now begin to fold your chest down towards your shin. Keep the left knee bent. Keep the balance on your left foot. We're going to stay balanced on the left foot as we transition to half moon pose. So you'll bring your left fingers down. You'll also need to straighten your left leg so you can clear that right foot out, kick it behind you, and then right arm up over the shoulder. Reach in all directions. Do your best here. And then bending the front knee to step back long, landing softly in warrior 2. Inhale, reverse the warrior, and then extended side angle. Find your line. And then inhale, reverse again. And take another vinyasa to return to down dog. Hold and breathe. All right, well, we're not done with standing poses just yet, but let's go ahead and take our knees to the floor and just transition to a little bit of an inversion practice now. So we're going to take a little dolphin, and then this will be where it's an option. If you want to do a headstand today, you might be able to put that one in. If you're not up for it, then you'll stick with dolphin. So that's where we're going to start. Take the elbows under the shoulders onto the mat so that the forearms are down, and then interlace your fingers. Root down, tuck your toes, lift your knees and your hips. And then so if your feet are really far back, it's gonna be really hard
to get the shoulders over the elbows and the hips over the shoulders, which is what we're working towards. So you might find, if you can, you will be a little better served if you can walk the feet in a little closer to try to get the hips higher. Let the head hang down. And then maybe take the right leg up so that now as that leg is going up, it's not just lifting off the ground, but it's actually starting to come all the way into the air and maybe almost feeling like it's over your shoulder. And then take the toes down to the ground nice and slow. And then do that second side. And this is kind of where it starts to feel like an inversion practice. So like my foot's not actually over my shoulder, but it starts to feel pretty close to being vertical. Even though I've got a leg completely on the ground, I'm not balancing here at all. And then slowly take your left toes down again. Take your knees wide, bring your hips to your heels, and take another child's pose. We haven't been in here since the beginning, and we didn't really hold, so give yourself a few breaths to hold now. Okay.
So here are the options, right? You can stick with dolphin pose and continue to practice that way with your head off of the floor, or you can come to something closer resembling headstand. And I'll actually talk through that practice a little bit, but don't feel like this is a must. Like, listen to your body. What do you want today? What do you need today? Dolphin is absolutely perfect if that's what you feel good with. If you want to come towards headstand, the elbows and the forearms are set up the same way. Fingers are interlaced. But now we kind of bring the head up by the hands, nestle the back of the head into the hands a little bit, have the top of the head, not the very top, but like, slightly behind like right by the hairline, let's say. And then tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips. And same thing as I mentioned before, like if you can walk your feet in, then all of a sudden your hips are more over your shoulders. And as you lift a leg up, the leg is coming over the shoulders, which makes it way easier to lift up the bottom set of toes just by floating it. And if it doesn't come off, that's okay. You're going to play with just taking that top leg down really slowly and building up the core strength there to do that with control. And then try the second leg. And again, maybe the toes come off the floor. If you're not hopping, please don't hop if your head is on the ground. But maybe that second set of toes just gets pulled up because the top leg is leaning back so much that the weight is all above the part of you that is on the ground, which is the forearms. And if you are working the second side and just lowering that top leg, take it down slow. But if you've got both legs in the air or are practicing an inversion of your choice, maybe just spend a few more breaths enjoying the upside downedness. Now, coming down from headstand, obviously we could just drop, right? It's not the ideal. We want gravity to help us, but we want to be able to resist it so it's not totally taking over. So we kind of have to counterbalance if we do that. So we could do both feet and the hips counterbalance, or we could do one leg down and the other leg counterbalances. But in order to come down slow, we have to stay in balance through the descent. So work that for a moment, and when you're ready to come down, come on down. And then we'll take another child's pose, but if you were working head on the floor, stack your fists and put your forehead on your fists just to keep the back of the neck a little bit curved. That's its natural shape. We've just put some pressure on the neck. So sometimes straightening it, stretching it out right away, it's a little bit much for transitioning. All right, well, we're gonna come up onto our knees now, and what the heck, I always feel like from here, it's such an easy transition into camel pose. Let's just take one. So Ustrasana, our little back bend, we can go ahead and tuck toes, or you could keep the feet extended if you want to. Hands might stay on the hips, but if you're finding without leaning the hips back, you're able to bring the hands to the heels, go ahead and do that, and then chin can stay tucked into your chest, or you might allow the head to fall all the way back onto your shoulder blades. And then support your waist to come back up. Let's bring the hands to the mat and return to downward facing dog. From here, let's walk the feet forward. And we're gonna bend the knees and come to chair again. And from here, let's go ahead and take a little twist. So take the left arm outside of the right leg, press the palms to turn the torso. You could stay here, or I'm gonna throw a couple of options at you. I'm gonna go ahead and come to like a little squat here. So lift your heels, come onto your toes to balance, but keep the twist. And then from here, if you'd like, we can practice a little side crow. So left arm outside that right leg. Let the left hand come to the ground. And now the hands are along the side edge of the mat. They're not facing front anymore, they're facing side. And we're just gonna try to transfer our weight. Maybe the right hip comes to the right arm, but slightly more advanced. The right leg is on the left arm and nothing is resting on the right arm. As we bend and lean in and then try to get the toes off the floor. And then more advanced still is trying to extend the legs out. That's not happening for me today. And if it's not happening for you, that's okay. Play, see what happens. Just give your body a chance to try it. And then after a moment or so, like by the time you're done, we can switch to the other side. So I'll show the other side facing this direction here. So same thing, on our toes, we're gonna twist now to the left. Press the palms to twist, and you could stay twisting. We didn't twist in chair here, we just twisted low. We can fix that later, but we're just gonna stay low and then bring the hands to the ground along the side edge of your mat, shifting, 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 until the toes come off the ground. And then if you want to open the legs, again, mine did not do it, it's okay, it's not the end of the world. And then after you've tried both sides, let's go ahead and come back to chair and take that full twist on towards the left, just to kind of even things out. And then when you've done your due diligence on the twisting, go ahead and come on up. And we're gonna step out wide for Prasarita Padottanasana. So parallel the feet about a leg length apart, and we'll take it down to a nice wide-legged forward fold. So bringing your hands down to the floor when they're ready, fingers between toes or palms between feet. Fingers and toes point in the same direction for this first variation. Lift your quads, open the backs of the legs, lean your weight forward toward the balls of the feet so the heels are light, and then let your head hang down heavy. All right, coming up, root down with the feet, hands to waist, float up. Let's turn the right toes open. We're gonna come into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So turn the left toes slightly to the right, arms out, finding your way into triangle. All right, come on up, stretch back, and we're gonna go into dancer pose here on the right foot. So moving into, basically this is a balancing back bend. We're gonna step onto the right foot, reach the left hand forward, come up off the right hand is forward. Come up off the left foot and grab the left foot with the left hand. Try to grab inside the foot if you can, and then lift up and pull away with the tension of the bow. I'm going to throw another variation at you that could be an option if you'd like to try it. So right now this right hand is forward, but if we move the left hand to the outer left foot, we might be able to take the right hand back and join. So we've got both hands on the foot, but then again, try to pull up and away with the foot. Lift the chest, lift the foot so that we're lifting from both sides of this pose. And then when we release, we're gonna step back for pyramid. So we're gonna let go of that back foot, step it back. It's not gonna come back as far as like a lunge, but maybe, 2/3 of the distance. Keep the hips squared forward as you fold over that right leg.
And then if you're feeling it, lift up a little bit onto the fingertips, lengthening the torso. Let's take a revolved triangle. So left finger's down, right arm up, twist right. Keep your back heel on the mat. All right, and then take your time, turn to the mat again, and let's follow the breath through a vinyasa to return to down dog for a short break. Yep, down dog is a break. At least that's the way I feel about it. If you don't, child's pose is also a backup option. Inhale, look forward. Exhale to step, walk, or hop the feet forward. Take a nice half lift. Fold Uttanasana. And then let's reverse swan dive again. Come on up nice and strong. Step out wide. Hey, we got another side to do. So let's take our second variation of Prostrita. You can do any variation you like here, but I'm going to suggest interlacing fingers behind the back, pulling shoulder blades together and down, and folding on into it. Let the head hang. Same action with the legs. We lift the quads. We try to open the backs of the legs and shift the weight forward toward the balls of the feet. And then root down with the feet to come on up nice and easy. And we'll do triangle on the left. So pivot the toes. The right toes can slightly turn towards the left. Arms out and shift into it. All right, come on up and stretch back. And let's move into dancer pose now on the left. So transferring your weight to the left foot, the right hand is reaching back behind you to catch that right foot as you bend the knee and it comes off the ground and float up into your dancer. It's very hard to look at the camera here while I'm trying to balance, but we're gonna see if you want, you can change this up like we did on the first side. So bringing the right hand to the outer foot and then bringing the left hand to the inner foot. So you've got both hands on the foot and then pull up and away. And do the best to find this stretch. It's not about just like holding the foot and having the heel in by the hip. We really wanna keep that bow tension for the dancer pose variation. And then when you're ready to let that go, let the foot go and step it back and we'll fold into pyramid pose. Set up your foot distance. Hips are square, back heel is down. This is sometimes where I'm like looking at my feet and I notice if my arches tend to roll in. If you notice that as well, lift your arches. See if you can press down through the ball of the foot and the heel of the foot, but lift the arches. And that can just build some foot strength. Now lifting up with the torso halfway, lengthening the head forward. Right fingers are going to stay down as the left arm goes up. Revolve triangle. And then look to your mat and take a vinyasa. Alrighty then, well, let's take the right leg up into the air, open the hip, bend the knee, and we're gonna bring it forward for pigeon stretch because you know what? We're like 3/4 of an hour in and we can start to do some of our deeper stretches. So knee forward behind the right wrist, use the left toes to walk the left leg back, come on to the top of that back thigh, extend your foot behind you, and allow yourself to sink down and enjoy this nice stretch here. All right, so take your time coming up.
And we're gonna do a quad stretch here in a minute, but first, we're gonna actually do another version of what we kind of just did with dancer pose a moment ago. So actually keep the left hand down as you bend your left knee and take the right hand back and see if you can bring the right hand across to the left foot and now pull away. So similar to what we were doing in dancer, we're taking that bow tension, and then if you're able to, maybe the left hand comes up as well and joins. So, you know, if you were challenged doing this on one foot, maybe it's a little easier where we're a little closer to the ground, but maybe it's not, because we're going to have a tendency to want to drop to our right hip. See if you can stay up with this. Do your best. And then when you're ready to let it go, bring the right hand down and then use the left hand to draw the heel into the hip to give yourself a nice quad stretch. All right, and then carefully let that go. Bring your hands to the mat. Return to down dog and give yourself a moment to shake out the right leg or kick through the heel. Or crack the hip. Let the knees and joints crack. All right, let's take the left leg up. Open the hip and bend the knee. Hey, we're gonna do the other side. What do you know? And then when you're ready, glide your left knee forward, set it up behind your left wrist, shin across the mat, and use your right toes to walk your right leg back. Starting off with a nice hip opener, so give yourself a chance to just fold down and breathe. All right, so come on up, walk the hands in, and we're gonna do the same thing as we did on the other side. So we're gonna start off with hand to opposite foot. So we wanna take the left hand behind us as we bend the right knee, find that foot or ankle and pull away. So it feels like a bit of a back bend. We're stretching the left shoulder. And then if you're able to stay in balance, bring the right hand back to join so that both hands are on that foot or ankle. And we're just kind of pulling ourselves up, stretching. And then when you're ready to transition to perhaps the more familiar and stable, take your left hand down for support and use your right hand now to move your heel into your hip for the quad stretch on that side. All right, and take your time, letting that go. Hands to the mat, or return to down dog. Shake out the left leg or kick through the heel. Let's walk the feet forward. We're gonna come to the sit bones. So bring your hips down to the mat. And then we're gonna take boat pose here in Navasana. So hands come behind the thighs, shoulder blades roll back, lift the heart, and then lift the shins. We're trying to keep this shape, but maybe we can do it just using our core muscles and let go with the hands. Now we're going to cross the left leg under the right and the right leg over the left to set up for a seated twist. So the left heel can come over by the right hip,
The right knee is up. Use your left arm around or past that knee to turn over your right shoulder. All right, and then coming out of your twist, let's go back to boat. And we're going to cross the legs the other way. So now the right is going to come under and the left is going to step over. Left knee up, twist to the left. And coming out of your twist, boat pose again. Find your way in, legs extend, but this time let's see if we can reach for the big toes or the outer edges of the feet with the hands. And then do your best to straighten up the legs, keeping the heart lifted. And in order to bring the legs closer to you, you have to do that, but also bring your chest closer to the legs. So the fold has to kind of happen from both ends in order for the balance to work. And then maybe take those legs out wide. Stabilize. And if you get wobbly and you roll back, you just get to roll right on back up. And then soles of the feet are going to come in for Baddha Konasana. So edges of the feet to the floor, knees go wide, let your body fold down here. Maybe use your thumbs to open the inner edges of the feet a little bit. Maybe use the elbows to press the knees wide. And it's at this point, now that we're almost at the end of the class, or I'm going to mention that I've set this class up as a donation-based class. It is on YouTube. It is free. Obviously, you do not have to pay anything to stream this class. But if you're getting value out of these classes showing up on your feed and you would like to contribute to the cause, the way to do that is in the description for this video. Basically, PayPal or Venmo, and my Venmo username is Namasturm, which is the name of my channel. So you should be able to figure that out. But, you know, I'm suggesting $1, right? When I used to teach this class on Monday nights via Zoom, I was charging $10 per class, but I am happy with anything. It shows, it's like a token of your appreciation. Like, I would appreciate it too, but it's up to you, of course. But I just wanted to put that out there. If you have watched this far, you probably got something out of it. All right, so take a couple more breaths here in our Baddha Konasana. And then come on up nice and easy. And we're going to do one more pose here. So we're going to take the legs out and set up for Paschimottanasana. So a nice seated forward fold. Here's the sirens. There's always sirens in my neighborhood. Whenever I am teaching a class, which is any time of day, it doesn't really matter. So engage your quads, flex your feet a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. And then let's exhale, sink down into your forward fold. This is a great opportunity to not only stretch your hamstrings, which we are doing, of course, but to allow yourself to focus inward, reconnect with your breath, maybe close your eyes, get a little quiet and a little calm. And then slowly make your way back up.
Shake your legs out a little bit. Let's go ahead and bring the knees into the chest. So just bend them, bring them in. Give yourself a nice little hug here. Wrap your hands around your shins. If you'd like, maybe lift your heels and then see if you can flick your toes up off the ground as well and balance on your sit bones in this little curled up position. And then either coming to a seated position, or if you feel confident about what's behind you, you could just roll back right onto your back to prep for Shavasana. I'm going to stay seated, but if you're moving to your back, take another moment, like hugging your knees into the chest, maybe rolling them around in a circle, maybe taking a little happy baby or a supine twist, really to finish up your practice, to make sure that your low back feels really nice so that as you stretch out completely, you can rest. You can completely let go, giving up the weight of your body to the floor. If you'd like to finish up here with me in a seated position, and please feel free to choose to stay in a seated meditation for a little while after your practice, let's bring palms together in front of the heart. And then whether you're on your back or still seated, close your eyes. Turn your focus back inward. You can let your mind pick up where it left off when you began class today, or you might actually notice if there are some shifts in there and maybe you want to send your brain in a different direction for the rest of your day. And we'll end together with just a simple bow forward. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Namaste. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me again today and sharing this practice. Let me know if you have comments. You can leave those below for me, questions, anything like that. If you do enjoy this sort of thing, subscribe to my channel. And as I mentioned, I do teach this class live on Mondays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm in Illinois, so that's the time zone I'm using. But of course, you can join at later time if that works for you. Thanks so much, and I don't know, I hope you'll join me again. Take care. Bye-bye.